Hello Scorpio, Elsie here to do your reading. It is for the week ahead. How are you doing, Scorpio? I hope you're well. Thanks so much for showing up here. I do appreciate you. Scorpio, if you're brand new, welcome. I hope you'll stay. And if you are somebody who is here all the time, if you're always coming back, thanks for being my ride or die. Thank you for the thumbs up if that's what you're here to do. I appreciate you. If you like this programming, it would be great if you would do that. And at the end of this video, I'm going to tell you about the sales, the private reading sales, and I'm going to tell you about how to find the extended. Let's find out what's going on for you. We're going to get these cards on the table for the overall feel of what's coming up in the week ahead for you, Scorpio. And then we're going to throw some tarot at it. What do we got here? We've got keep your commitments. We've got reach for the stars and think things through. Bottom of the deck comes up with become a clear channel. And it says, do something different. Oh, very interesting. So look, you're always going to have to do something different than you always did if you want something different than you always got. Can't keep repeating cycles and expect something to change, right? So I think it's asking you, this is the future energy for me off the bottom of the deck. So it's asking you in the future to do something different, be a clear channel and do something different than you've done in the past, I would say. So we got keep your commitments, reach for the stars, and think things through. What's going on for Scorpio? Tell me what's going on for Scorpio. All right. Keep your commitments. And I'm going to say that no matter what the fear, no matter whether you want to hold back or not, the devil energy is here. So it feels like that something might be standing in the way of you keeping a commitment of some sort. And I really feel like we're talking about a commitment to yourself. So don't let the devil get in the way, I'm going to say. This devil energy here tells me that you have some fear or some apprehension, or you feel maybe attached to something from the past, like a thought pattern, or maybe you're living a different way of life back there. It feels like you're dragging something into the present moment, and I think you're supposed to keep your commitments, but I think that we're talking about commitment to yourself. Let's talk about the devil card. What's going on with the devil energy here, please? Tell me about Scorpio. We've got the Six of Pentacles, we've got the Four of Pentacles, and we have the Queen of Pentacles. So it's all about the 3D world for you here. I think for some of you, the commitments are to your health, your home, your material world, your material wealth, all the things that are going on with you, right? The Queen of Pentacles is very focused on the self. So I feel like you're supposed to be focused on yourself, and you're supposed to be focused on your fortune, whatever you're making in terms of money, your material world. But the Queen of Pentacles, whatever you give the Queen, she's going to multiply it. So I feel like you're really supposed to keep the commitments that you've made to yourself in terms of whatever is going on in your 3D world. It could be friendships or relationships, possibly with the Six of Pentacles here, but it also could be having a really good work-life balance. So it feels like it could be work-life balance that you need to get on track. I feel with the Four of Pentacles, it's telling me here to maybe keep some of this to yourself. It's time for you to start holding back in the 3D, because I feel like you're not keeping commitments to yourself because of the devil card. It's codependency. It's just going to put myself on the back burner and do it for somebody else. So Scorpio, I think that you are supposed to be focused on you coming up in the week ahead. We've got reach for the stars. There's some sort of a breakthrough or growth spurt you're going through in the week ahead. Tell me about this. It is happiness, right? The sun is about happiness, but it's also about producing things. It's also about seeing things for what they really are, seeing the value in things. When we have the sun is a breakthrough, and it illuminates everything, so you don't have any guesswork. So I feel like you're supposed to reach for the stars, and that could mean just about anything. Let's find out what the cards say. We've got the Emperor, we've got the Ace of Wands, and we've got the World card. So I feel like this energy is telling me that I feel like you are supposed to see your potential. I feel like with the sun being here, that the sun is illuminating everything. And so reaching for the stars, for me, I think it's for you reaching for success, or reaching for something that you didn't think that you could be good at or that you could do for yourself. And so I feel like the sun is showing you that you can step into your Emperor energy anytime you're ready, which is you're in control. You just need to take control of the situation. and the emperor is very reserved, kind of holding back and waiting to see what the situation will bring before the emperor jumps in, because the emperor can't just be leading everyone to slaughter, right? The emperor cannot just be taking the army in. If they only have 500 and the others have 1,000, they're just not going to take everybody. And, it's like making a decision that's best for everyone involved, essentially, when it comes to the emperor. But I feel like there's something that is shifting here for you. There's an old chapter that is closing, and I think it has to do with the devil energy. I feel like you need a better balance in your work life. So it feels like you've been giving too much to your employer or too much to your business and not enough to yourself. And it feels like now in the middle of the week, you're realizing that. It seems like a realization that you are the emperor. And the emperor carries a lot of things, the whole empire, which is all of the kingdoms, right? So whatever's going on in your life, I feel like you have a lot going on in your life, but it is time for you to reach a milestone. And the milestone is, if you are going to be a solid, steady emperor who is making good choices for their empire, I feel like first you've got to close an old chapter. And I feel like this is going to be a really exciting thing. There is a new cycle showing up for you here that is going to allow you to reach for the stars. It feels creative to me. So it feels like you're in creation mode, or you're creating something. You could maybe have a side hustle you want to move to a business. It feels like you're the one who's in charge of your creation, is what it's saying here. So choose wisely. Like, you can have anything that you want, Scorpio, but you've got to choose wisely. And I think that you will, because the sun is here, because the sun is happiness, and it's also growth, spiritually, financially, personally, right? It's all of the growth things, the things that are in your life are about to expand. And I think you're having some sort of a breakthrough, that you've always been in charge of it, Scorpio, and you are going to step into your emperor shoes probably partway through the week here. Got the Two of Swords, and think things through. Now, you can get paralyzed with thought. If you are really the emperor, that means you're also the King of Swords. And the King of Swords is infamous for the overthinking part of it. So I think that the Two of Swords here is telling me, look, think things through, but don't get stuck there. Make decisions, even though they're hard, right? Now, twos are always decision-making places, but for me, the Two of Swords is the hardest place, because you're in effect cutting one thing out when you decide on another. Excuse me. And swords being, it could be mentally, but it's making a decision nonetheless. And it is that once I decide to cut one way out and decide to go the other, I'm never going back there. So it's a sort of a permanent thing. It feels like you're trying to find balance, though. Libra energy. You're trying to find balance in the way that you make these decisions. So think things through, but not to the point where you're going to get paralyzed or stuck. I feel like things are coming into alignment here for you next week, but it is going to require that you make a sacrifice. And so I feel like the sacrifice you need to make is this Nine of Wands energy. You need to stop hiding behind the wands. We've got this person here who's tired of being hurt. Somebody who's exhausted. Maybe you're in burnout mode, because I feel like up until about the midweek that you are not really taking care of your work-life balance. And so it could be a little bit of burnout energy. It does feel like you're exhausted. Maybe with decision-making, it could be that. But it feels like this Hanged Man energy is saying, stop, pause, get some perspective. Just lay down for a moment, sit down for a moment and get perspective, and stop just go. Stop with that energy. I feel like it's starting to burn you out, or you're starting to get some sort of fatigue from making a lot of decisions. This might involve a lot of decision making here, and I feel like you're starting to feel by the end of the week a little bit exhausted. We do have the Ten of Swords, that is the burnout place, and then we have the King of Wands. So there it is. Like, I feel you're in go mode. So whatever it is that you're building or doing or working on, or maybe you have a side hustle and work, or maybe you're building something while you're working, maybe it's a gazebo in the backyard, but it feels like you're on the verge of burnout here. So think things through. Make sure that you know that you're on the right path and you're not doing too much, you're not overdoing it. And it is, it's okay sometimes, like in the Hanged Man energy, it is about sacrifice too. So it's time to really look at, where are you putting your energy, your time, your talents, and your money? Where are you putting that energy? Because I feel like it's time for you to start looking at what you could sacrifice in order to be happier with the Nine of Cups here. In order for you to be happier, it's time to make some tough decisions. So I put down these two cards, because although this is the week ahead, this is the week after that. So we've got the Three of Pentacles and the Eight of Cups. So I feel like it's like the Three of Pentacles is like standing back and looking at what I've created. I've created a foundation. And you've also possibly are in this energy of community, maybe going out, being with people who are like-minded. I feel like in not next week, but the week after that, I feel like you've got to sacrifice something. Like this week you're thinking, I've got to sacrifice something, and it might be a little bit of this. Maybe you are spending too much time giving talks or being the authority on something, right? The Emperor is here. Maybe it's teaching people. Maybe you need to like wind in some of the teaching gigs, and I mean, this doesn't have to be like you're in a school in front of students. It could be your friends, it could be your family. Maybe people are coming to you for advice because you're the authority on some things, right? You're the one of influence. So I feel like the Eight of Cups is telling me it's time to detach from some stuff. And I think one of those things you're supposed to detach from, possibly just for the moment, I'm going to say, is the Three of Pentacles. I feel you've already built the foundation. The foundation is good and it's solid. And I think it's time to just roll back a little bit. You need to become a clear channel as to what you want to do with your time and your energy. And I think what you want to do is something different. But I think that you're caught up in helping others achieve their goals when it's time for you to achieve yours. But in order to achieve your goals, you're going to have to pull back from other people. And I think that's the hard part, because Scorpio, you are always the one who's coming to the rescue. I know that about you. All right, I'll put down 3 cards. We're going to talk about those in the extended. It is indicated to be advice. Or maybe an extension of what's going on here. We've got the 4 of Swords in the reverse. We've got the 6 of Swords, and we've got the 3 of Cups. I really do feel that the way to happiness here for you is to move away from whatever is making chaos in the mind. So I feel like you are overwhelmed or flooded with this, but I have all these obligations, Elsie. I can't just start saying I'm just not going to show up, or I just can't do that. Well, yeah, you can, actually. And I mean, some of those things you're not going to be able to, like maybe you promise Grandma you take her grocery shopping every Saturday. Some of those things you're not going to be able to wiggle out of, but I feel like this is what we're looking at here, is that maybe sometimes you pull back your energy, or you stop talking to people, and then you duck your head out the door, which is the 4 of Swords in the reverse. You sort of duck your head out and look both ways to make sure nobody wants anything from you. But I feel like you need to fully move away from that with the 6 of Swords. It feels like it's a chaotic place for you. I feel like you're going to be a lot happier when you make more time for joy, when you make more time for things that make you happy, and being with friends, going out, being social, doing things that don't feel like obligations. Because I feel like your life right now is kind of heavy, or making you feel heavy with obligation. And so it feels like it's time to sacrifice some of those things. The Queen of Swords is showing up, and that is because the Queen of Swords is going to be honest with you and honest with me, right? So you got to be honest with yourself and honest with everybody around you. And, some people don't like the truth, but it doesn't matter. The truth doesn't care if you like it. The truth is the truth. And so I feel like you really have to come to some sort of clarity or truth and tell some people, cut some things out, cut some people out, cut some obligations out. And then we have the Queen of Wands, because I feel like you want to get back to this energy level. And we have the Empress here. You might have somebody in your life who's saying, come on, quit fighting yourself. It's time for you to stop beating yourself up about not doing enough or not being enough. It's time to have a conversation and release some things so you can get your energy level back. But it's going to take you listening to the Hanged Man energy about pulling back, sacrificing some things, thinking it through before you make the decisions, before you turn into the Queen of Swords. And everybody should once in a while. We should always master the swords for sure. But there's kind ways you can say things that you maybe can't attend whatever it is that they have planned. Sometimes you've got to roll it back. So we're going to go into the extended. We're going to talk more about how you can obtain this joy, because I feel like it's going to take moving away from some sort of obligations that you have here. I feel like the reason that you're hiding is because you don't want the 10 of Swords, right? We've got the 4 of Swords and the 6, but the 4 is in the reverse. I feel like if you go to the 10 Swords, you're going to have to hurt somebody's feelings, and I don't think you want to do that. And so I feel like the only way you can have joy is if you decide to disconnect, move away, or rid yourself of some of the obligations that are clouding whatever it is that you want to do to become a clear channel and do things differently here. We've got Yeah, nurture yourself. So yeah, all the cards are pointing towards, look, you've got to do a little bit more for you, and a little bit, that means you'll have to do a little bit less for other people. If you would like to come to the extended, that's what we're going right now. All of my extendeds, whenever you watch my readings, are all in the membership area. So if you would like to come to the membership area and look at all the extendeds for one low price, you can do that. That is in the pinned comment. Always in the pinned comment, there is something about sales or whatever's going on in terms of the extended readings. I do also publish an extended reading just specifically for this reading. If you don't want to do the monthly thing, don't want to do the membership thing, you can just purchase this straight out. And there's a link in the comments, in the comment pinned above for that as well. And I am offering live readings now. So if you haven't been in a live reading yet, we've been having a lot of fun getting to know each other. And if you would like to do that, I have between 5 and 75% off your live reading if you would like a private reading. And listen, you can ask as many questions as we can shove into the time frame we're speaking. You can ask as many questions as you want, but that only happens with the live readings. With the pre-recorded readings, which are still available, you can do 1 up to 3 questions, or I do have a 3-month reading there as well if you want to do that. I'm going to go for now. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in the extended if that's where you end up being, and if not, I will be back because I'm always back. You guys take care of yourself. Thanks, Scorpio. Bye-bye.